Welcome to the Daily Dosage. I'm Pat Beach.
I'm John Lorge.
We're going to give you our picks for this week of the NFL season, Week 3. Now, last week I kind of struggled a bit, went 8-8, while John
11-5. Decent week, not what I wanted, but okay.
Yeah, there were some pretty crazy upsets, so I mean, a little bit understandable, but we are hoping to do better this week. Anyways, let's get into our first pick of the week, which is a game between Cleveland and Baltimore. John, what do you think?
Bit of a rivalry matchup here, and Baltimore some are calling them the best team in football right now. I'd have to agree that they're one of the best, while the Browns, they just don't have it. Seems like a cakewalk for Baltimore, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, this just seems to be an easy pick. Definite Baltimore win here. Now, what about Minnesota and San Francisco? San Francisco did not look so bad last week. Actually surprised me getting the win over the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Niners have a great running attack with Frank Gore there, and they have a strong defense. Mike Singletary is a coach. He preaches defense. But they got to travel into Minnesota, and things are just going the right way for the Vikings. So I'm going to go with a home win for Minnesota.
I'm also going with the Vikings as well. I just think they are too talented running the football, and Brett Favre may set a record for the highest completion percentage this season. So let's get into one of the highlighted games this week, and that's between Atlanta and New England, which may be one of the best games of the week. John, what do you think?
The Pats' offense looked lost without Welker last week, and with New England's confidentiality, he may be out again, but we'll never know. Matt Ryan is in rhythm with his receivers, and this has all the makings of a shootout. I'm looking for the Pats to redeem themselves with a close win at home.
Tom Brady really disappointed me last week, but I don't think he's going to do it again. New England definitely has something to prove this week, and I really expect them to bring it. So up next, we have a game between Jacksonville and Houston. John, what do you think?
The Texans really squeaked one out last week, but it was against Tennessee Titans, a very good football team. I think Houston's going to get another win this week, although it's going to be close. Jacksonville looking for their first win of the season.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville is actually going to get this win. A team like them, they have a lot of talented players. We haven't really seen them use Torrey Holt too much. I kind of expect them to get Torrey Holt going, get Maurice Jones-Drew going, pick up their first win of the season. So what do you think about this game between Green Bay and St. Louis?
Green Bay really disappointed me last week. I thought they were going to handle Cincinnati, and they didn't do that. But the Rams are awful. They might be the very worst team in football. The Packers need to get things going in the passing game. They were high-powered offense last year. They need to do that this year. The Rams, I just don't think they have enough pieces to really make it a good season and maybe even get a win.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's going to be the Lions' streak breaker right there, is if they ever get to match up with St. Louis this season, because St. Louis is just awful. Now, what do you think about Tennessee and the New York Jets? This definitely is going to be a good game.
New York has established themselves as an elite defense in the AFC East, and Mark Sanchez will continue to make the right reads if the Titans refuse to pressure the quarterback. An 0-3 start is becoming a reality for Tennessee unless Chris Johnson can produce 300 yards of magic.
I expect another monster week for Chris Johnson, not as big as last time, but still enough to get Tennessee a win. So what do you think about the Giants in Tampa Bay?
The Giants gave up way too many rushing yards against Dallas, but they were able to get the win. I think that they'll really stuff the run this week against the Bucs, and they should come out with a decisive victory. I think we'll see Brandon Jacobs just beat him up on the ground.
Yeah, I'm also going to pick the Giants here. What about Washington and Detroit?
Now, hold on, guys. This is the game that I think Detroit will break their streak. They looked good opening up against Minnesota last week. They're at home again this week. And eventually, you just have to win a football game. They're all professionals, all that. So I'm going upset special. I'm going with Detroit here.
I'm not going with Detroit. I fully expect the 20th loss in a row to take place in this game. But what about another game, a bit more of a good game? Kansas City and the Eagles. Who's going to win here?
Mike Vick won't be starting, but if he plays well when he does play, I expect to see more of him and less of Kolb as the game progresses. Although they traveled strong to Baltimore in Week 1, I don't see KC going into Philly and upending them.
I hope Michael Vick gets on the field this week, but either way, I don't think it matters. Kevin Kolb's good enough to get the win here for the Eagles. What about New Orleans and Buffalo? Is Reggie Bush going to get on track?
I think so. He actually scored a late touchdown last game. I think it was a little bit of a confidence boost, and he should have an impact this week against Buffalo. Now, the Bills are a much better team than people thought they were, but still, they're the Buffalo Bills. New Orleans Saints are looking to make a push for the Super Bowl. I'm going to say the Saints get this one. Too much firepower.
I'm also going with the Saints. Drew Brees is going to have a better game than he played last week. Pretty easy win for the Saints. What about Chicago and Seattle? Two teams that kind of had opposite weeks in Week 2.
Yeah, the Bears, they got some confidence. They finally won a football game with Jay Cutler as a quarterback, which was nice to see for them. They're going into Seattle. It can be a hostile environment in Seahawks Stadium, but still, Seattle is so banged up right now. I'm not sure we're going to see Hasselbeck on the field. Lofa, no clue. Offensive line, they're banged up from top to bottom. I'm going to the Bears. Matt Forte, big game.
I'm also going to go with the Bears. Without Hasselbeck, the Seahawks cannot win. This is what happened last season. This is a pattern that will continue this season. So what about a division rivalry between Pittsburgh and Cincinnati? Cincinnati looked good last week.
They did look good and almost impressive, but one thing I think the Steelers will do that the Green Bay Packers cannot do is stop Cedric Benson. I do not see another 100-yard rushing game for Benson. I think Pittsburgh will be able to get some pressure. It might be closer than people think. You know, Paul Mahler's not there to be that difference maker on D, but still, I see the Steelers getting this victory.
I'm actually going to go with Cincinnati in this one. You know, Chad Ochocinco had a good week last week. Cincinnati kind of looked like they had that vibe going like they had in 2005. So I expect, you know, a good week out of them. So what do you think about a great matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Arizona Cardinals?
Kurt Warner was on the money, going an NFL record 24 of 26 last week, while Peyton Manning averaged 20 passing yards per minute of play. There will be no shortage of offense, but the Cards have shown some real D in 2009, making them the pick at home over Indy.
Larry Fitzgerald is bound to explode. Cardinals victory. So what about Miami and San Diego?
Well, the Dolphins have to travel all the way across the country and play in San Diego, and it's on a short week too. So while their defense only played 15 minutes, I still think it's going to be a little tough for them. Their offense has to be a little bit worn down. So I think San Diego, although LaDainian Tomlinson might not play, Phillip Rivers is going to command the game, put the ball in the air, and we will see the Chargers win.
I think that the Chargers are going to win as well. Miami's just not looking so sharp to open up this season. So what about a division rivalry between Denver and Oakland?
This is going to be kind of a beat-up, drag-out game. You know, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of points out of either team. Oakland's been strong on defense. They're not flashy. They don't do anything exceptionally well, but they do have some very good cornerbacks. I see the Oakland Raiders winning this one, but it's going to be close.
I have one word to describe this game, John, and it's going to be ugly. But I still think that Denver's going to get a win. You know, squeak one out against Oakland. I've been picking against Oakland, but still, I'm thinking Denver's going to get this one done. So what about our final game of the week between Carolina and Dallas?
After a heartbreaker in their home opener, Dallas will be looking to get one for Mr. Jones and the house that a Billy built. Marion Barber is questionable, but Dallas will still have enough firepower to outpace Jake Delhomme, especially if he starts handing the ball over.
I'm also going to go with the Cowboys. They need to finally christen that new stadium with a win. Do you have any closing comments?
I'm looking for a couple things. Aaron Rodgers needs to get on track. Over 300 yards, over 4 touchdowns, big week. And also, Adrian Peterson still on pace for the 2,000-yard mark. And if you guys want to give us your picks, come play against us.
City of the swing, pop your trunk and bang. City of the swing, pop your trunk and bang. City swing, pop your trunk and bang. Don't let me catch you slipping.